Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 9. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing well. So, this is the vacation. This is the overnight trip already. Can y'all believe it? It doesn't feel like, I know I've said it 100 times. The show just doesn't feel like we should be at this point. I just don't. Anyway, something about this season moved exponentially fast, and I'm not really seeing the strong connections that we would normally see at this time. But I know I've already said that before. Also, I want to apologize for not doing the video last week. I don't even think I put anything up on my community wall. But at the time, I was for those of you who don't know, I am in the military, and we had our lodging arrangement moved. So I had to gather up all the stuff that I've collected over the past several months and move it to a new location. And I was just spent, ran into some problems with like storage and all this other stuff. And I didn't even have the mental space to be doing a video. So I'm back this week. And yeah, this is the overnight trip. So everybody gets their things together. You guys know how it goes for the overnight trip. On the way down, they're discussing who has what connections, what they believe is going to happen on the trip, what they hope is going to happen on the trip. And we know that on the trip, on the overnight trip, this is the time to really lock in with who you want to lock in with. If you're going to see an ugly side of someone, if you're going to see an argument, it's going to happen on the trip. This is when you really got to make a decision on what you're going to do. I was not expecting Dominique to be the one to go home last week. I was surprised by that. I was also surprised that Chaz is going to be the one who has too many connections to make a decision. I thought that actually was going to be Dominique, but probably due to Dominique and all those children he wanted, it wasn't really a matchup for him. Chaz, although I thought he had the look, I didn't know that so many women were going, but he does have a level of growth that a lot of the other men don't necessarily exhibit, except for maybe Will Yum. Is it Will Yum or Will? Except for the one of the Wills that's still there. But yeah, Chaz is going to have to make a decision. So after all of the hoopla and the screaming of finding the rooms, y'all know how that goes. Vanessa walks in on him, kind of not hugged up, but laying next to Mika and holding her hand. And so she feels awkward. And this is when we have our first case of, oh, you told me I was your top connection, and now I don't know. This always happens on Ready to Love. It usually happens before the trip, but it's happening now. You're in the same space with all of your connections. You're not going on separate dates. And she asks a very pertinent question that we always ask for the overnight trip. I wonder if Chaz considered how he was going to handle all of his connections now that we're all in the same house. Vanessa, baby, they never consider that. They never consider how they going to handle all their people once they get to the house. Even the women don't. So I can't even say it's a gender thing, but the men tend to get caught up by it the most. Let's see how this goes. All right, now look here. When Chaz got to playing around in her head, I said, okay, see, Vanessa, girl, now you in danger. Somebody done taught the boy something. Because let me tell you something. If you get to touching around in my head or like rubbing on me, trying to get my body in relax mode, I have to remind myself that I'm supposed to be mad. So somebody done taught Chaz a thing. Get your hands out my head. Okay? So he's rubbing around in her head and he trying to make small talk. And she just, I don't know what's in that cup, but she acting like it's real good. She just like, And finally he says, you mad? And she was like, I'm not mad. Now, Vanessa, we ain't gonna lie around here. You were mad, or at least a little bit uncomfortable. And she lets him know, you got a lot of decisions to make while we're here. I like a leader, and I want you to be the one that makes the decision, in so many words. Chaz says that, asks Vanessa where she's sleeping. And Vanessa says she's sleeping by herself. She don't think they need to sleep together. Do you agree? Don't matter if he agree, Vanessa. Do you think that y'all need to sleep separately? Stand on that. He says, I don't really know. At this point, I might need to sleep on the floor or the couch or in my car, because he just really doesn't want to tick Vanessa off. He knows how she is when she gets upset. So they obviously have had some issues before. And he doesn't want to tick her off. He want to play his cards right. She wants him to start narrowing it down because she's already narrowed it down to one. And he tells her, oh, you always only had one. You see that cockiness he got, Vanessa? Take note. All right, take note of that. But Chaz does need to start narrowing it down. Okay, you can't just flirt and go around with every woman. It is that time. We are getting to that time. But Vanessa, I also need you to remember that this is a process. Okay, and you will not be his only woman. Never, ever on Ready to Love fall for, you are my number one connection. Don't nobody give a damn about that. Every time somebody say that, they lying. You ain't number one. You're number 5. They might have a girlfriend at home. Don't ever believe them when they say that. Okay, let's move on to this very strange conversation. So I forgot to add in that nephew Tyler Perry had pulled up in a speedboat to let everybody know that the ladies are going to be in control. LaRon mentions at this time that he hasn't really been stepping his game up when it comes to, well, he needs to step his game up because he hasn't really solidified a connection with any of the ladies. Keep that in mind. So he calls a meeting, right? He calls a meeting of everybody to come into the house so that they can discuss a few things. He doesn't want any messiness or drama or alliances being built. He doesn't want anybody getting upset if you see your connection talking to somebody else, which is ironic because that is, I do believe that's what you did with Koshia. But you said you thought she was playing games with you, but okay. Don't get mad. This is a process. It don't need to be no secret alliances for getting nobody out. And everybody is just kind of looking at him like, is there a secret alliance? Finally, somebody asked the question. He says that there was a group chat with Will. And then he says, William, you were in it as well, plotting to get Cole, we on a nickname basis, and Mika out of the group. William is like, oh, no. Let me correct you there. This was at the beginning of the process. Will came to us and told us that the ladies was dogging us out. We was all irritated and we was like, hell no. He was like, don't tell me, bro. Bro, do not tell me. I got the text messages. LaRon, if you don't calm your round ass down, who you yelling at? That's first and foremost. Who you yelling at? Secondly, William feel like LaRon is just a hater because he don't have no connections. And because you don't have no connections, you trying to mess it up for everybody else. You don't really care about coming in here and making that little speech you making. I halfway believe that, but I do believe LaRon still is irritated by this whole message situation, and I'm going to need baby boy to let it go. You don't get to come in here and be everybody's smooth uncle, chastising them and telling them what they going to do and what they not going to do. Yes, it is a good idea to tell people, hey, let's not get jealous. Let's not have no mess, of course. But eventually, you're going to have to let go of the fact that Will manipulated a situation, along with Alexis, to get your girl out of the house. If I was the ladies, I would be looking at LaRon like, I appreciate you bringing everybody together, but why are you still so concerned about Koshia not being here? Because you need to be focused on making a connection with us, not who was conspiring against Koshia. I haven't heard anybody else bring this up but him. So if it's been brought up again, or if there's some talks of things going on, the producers haven't shown it. So it makes it look like he's hung up on something that is long over. The 2 problems are gone. And Koshia was a problem too, low key. But the 2 problems, Alexis and Will, are gone. If you still think William is in the mix somewhere, you ain't gonna know until you see another group text. So William tried to explain it away. Maya is now giving William the side eye. Everybody else is just kind of looking confused. And I'm looking confused at LaRon as well because he's extremely passionate over a woman that's not there no more. But Mika's there. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about that segment. Okay, so there was a scene where what is his name, y'all? Is it Demetrius? That's not his name. I can't remember, but the new guy, fairly new guy, he wanted Rashina to go out there to get on the floats and get in the water, and Rashina said, And that was a very good decision to make, y'all. I got on one of them floats, in the Bahamas. And baby, when I tell you that float took me out, that thing toppled over. I didn't get my weight distributed right. And that thing toppled over. I went under that water. Now, the water in the pool, it was enough for me to stand up in. I wasn't going to drown. But my body didn't know that at the time, honey. My mind, it took a while for me to understand that I wasn't going to drown. Y'all would have thought I had died, child. Them floats 2, JoJo 0, because it took me out twice. Anyway, he get in the water with Mika, make a sharp turn. They fall off the jet skis. Mika was looking quite alarmed. She should have did like Rashina did. Let's move on. Maya and Lon. Now, Maya talks to William, who was her strongest connection. Now she's not so sure after hearing about the group messages. William tries to clear it up with her. Maya says, look, let's just let it go and move on. But in her mind, she's still thinking about the fact that he had a hand in this. So she's in the kitchen making some food, and she's talking to Lon. Lon is suggesting filet mignon and all this other food. You need a salad, Lon. And they start talking about what they want for their life, what they want in a relationship. And they're kind of firing on the same cylinders. They like to have fun. They like to have a good time. Maya feels like since she's side-eyeing Will, she might as well give Lon a fair shot. So she talks about how important it is about having fun because she works from home and he works from home as well. He does ask her, how do you feel about living with a woman? He says he wants that because sometimes he gets home and it's lonely walking in by himself and being by himself, which that doesn't surprise me at all. I will never live with another man as long as I live if I can help it. I do not enjoy living with them. I enjoy my own space a lot more, but that's just me. I know some people like it. I actually don't know any woman that likes it. So if you do like it, let me know in the comments so I can say I know one, because I don't know one at this point in time. Not a single one, but I don't like living with them. So, they both say they want somebody, to come home to. It would be nice. They both want 2 boys. They have dated people with children. She has dated people with children before. She's open to it. Lon said he was open to it, but he had never really even known anybody who had kids, like his friends. He had never really known that. But they would like for each other's children to be their first children, which makes sense. Like their first children, whoever they're with, to be the first. She wants 2 boys. He wants 2 boys. He's always wanted boys so he could pass down his legacy. What legacy, Lon? That's what I want to know. Every time somebody says something about a legacy, what do you have? Because y'all know what legacy means? Lineage and legacy are 2 different things. Do you got some land to pass down? A business? Okay. What is the legacy? Are you a man of some kind of stature where people are going to remember your name? Let's say lineage. If you ain't really got no legacy, just saying. Just putting that out there. I think that was really it. So we'll see what goes on between the 2 of them. I personally think Maya is flighty. I think that focusing on a good time as a 30-something-year-old woman, yes, relationships are supposed to be fun, but there is a lot of serious conversation that needs to be had as well. Just because y'all both want kids, just because y'all both don't have no kids right now, you got to make sure that the person you with can have serious conversations. But I will say, I would bet that Lon would be better for her to date right now than William. William has 4 sons? No. I think he needs to be with somebody who already has children. That's my opinion. Now, I think I speak for everybody when I say, what the hell is going on? What are y'all doing? It's too late in the game to be trying to make some new connections. Patrice, because you the one that brought it up. It's too late for that. That man said he had your number, but he didn't save it after you gave it to him at the mixer. I don't think he interested. I don't think he interested in you like that. And Chaz, you need to be strong enough to turn down some very cute women who might be interested in you because you already got a lot going on. You just sat there and said, I'm not used to dating multiple women at one time. You got to excuse me. I can excuse you and also know this ain't going to work. I was really upset with Patrice playing games. She got to be playing games to be doing something this late in the game. And you already got 2 connections yourself. What are you adding on a new one for, Chaz? You already got your hands full with your connections. What are you adding on a new one for? Help me, because I'm confused. And then bless this poor child heart. He don't know what's going on. He think Patrice is his main connection. Meanwhile, Patrice just made a new connection with another man who didn't even save her number. So Alonzo is taking pictures of her cooking because he's infatuated with Patrice at this point. He even tells Vanessa she is the one for sure. Vanessa is asking him about certain deal breakers in a relationship, what he needs, what he doesn't need. He talks about trust, ironically. And then he talks about how in this process, he feels like he's kind of been pigeonholed as the fun guy. I said, no, LaRon got pigeonholed as the fun guy. I think you just got pigeonholed as the maybe jokester or something along those lines. But he really doesn't want to be seen that way, because when he does have a serious conversation, everybody is surprised and shocked. But Patrice is definitely his one. Well, I hate to tell you, baby, while you running around there saying she the one, she running around there making new connections. It's a shame. Such a shame. The alcohol has taken effect, if you ask me. There's a lot going on in the room. It's been shot o'clock a couple of times. LaRon is whispering sweet nothings in Maya's ear. You know, I just want to be your man. Y'all know how they do. I need to be your man. Like, I'll fight for you. I'm willing to fight for you. That's how they talk when they get to drinking. Maya looks scared to me. She doesn't look turned on. She does give LaRon a hug, but her facial expression wasn't giving turned on to me. But I may have misread her. She may have found it sexy. Then we got Chaz taking a shot out of Rasheena's boobies. I just... Will and Patrice. Let's talk about them, because that's who on the screen. I personally think that maybe William is a sad drinker. Maybe when he get a couple shots of alcohol, he wants to get his therapy on. Quickest way, can't speak for other women, to start turning me off is to start getting struggly. Now, I'm not saying that you can't tell me what's going on with you. You can. But if you start getting struggly on me, and every time we get together, I feel drained, okay, we're going to have to take a break. Because I didn't sign up for this. I'm not your woman. We just seeing each other from time to time. You don't get to put that on me as soon as you meet me. Yes, we are all humans. Yes, we deserve to have an experience to vent, but that's what friends are for. Not a woman that you've known for a couple of weeks. That's just me. That's just me. And guess what? I wouldn't do it to no man either. Sure wouldn't. I would save that for my girls. That is why they are in my life. I suggest that you get you a support system. You can't just get the emotionally dumping on people. But you know what? Patrice is open to it. Some people open to it. And if they are, then good. Okay? Those are some good, kind, genuine people who can manage what you have going on. Everybody don't have room for that, especially if they're going through something themselves. So Patrice had room. That's one of the things me and my friends do before we start dumping on each other. We always ask the question, sis, do you have room? And sometimes the answer is, girl, I ain't got room today. And if you got room, then we start talking. So you got to have room first. There was room for William. William talks about how he's been struggling, trying to be the supporter for his family, trying to take everything on his back. Patrice is like, you are still human. And sometimes you have to recognize that you can't do everything. If you ever need somebody, if you want to talk, my door is open. Good for you, Patrice, girl. William, I'm going to tell you right now, her door is open, but I promise you, she going to friend zone you. She going to friend zone you. And don't nobody be talking to me about this, why we can't be vulnerable. You can be vulnerable to your woman. When y'all lock in, same thing with the ladies. You can be vulnerable. But a lot of times people start getting scared off when if your life started looking struggling. Life is hard enough, y'all. We don't want to link up with nobody that's struggling emotionally. Not starting out, hell. We just got together. These supposed to be the fun times. I know trouble don't last always, but damn. Anyway, y'all, I probably sound mean, but hey, I've learned my lesson dealing with things like this. It doesn't get better. Ooh, Rashina. I would have never expected this out of you, girl. You had me fooled. So that strawberry situation with the shot, It goes a little further. Rashina got the strawberry in her mouth, and Chaz is kind of pushing up on her, trying to see what he gonna do about the strawberry situation. He must want that thing real bad because he proceeds to kiss her, to suck the strawberry out of his mouth. Now listen. See, now y'all done exchange spit. So, and in some cultures that can start a soul tie. Y'all, I mean, you go. Y'all in trouble. Y'all is in trouble. Not you, Rashina, but Chaz is definitely in trouble. And them producers can't wait, baby. I bet they had the iPad like, let's go show Vanessa right now. Let's show her before she go to bed so we can have some drama when we wake up in the morning. I said, Chaz, Rashina. And he keep talking about he was in the garden and there was Eve right there. I said, boy, y'all don't never want to take accountability. How you going to blame the subconscious mind for what the conscious mind is capable of not doing? Hello? You knew you was wrong when you did it. Woo, child. I was a little bit turned on. I'm not going to cap. Okay, so the next morning at breakfast, everybody is sober. Now they're discussing some of the events that happened last night. And the ladies in the kitchen come to the conclusion that Chaz really needs to make some decisions. This is when Vanessa learns that Patrice has added herself back to the pot. And Rashina is just like, oh, okay, well, he really need to be figuring something out. So when they get to the table, they pretty much ask Chaz, Rashina does, how does it feel to be the man in the box? Which means he has 4 women to choose from. Chaz wants to change the subject. Nah, bro, we ain't changing the subject. How does it feel? Chaz says that he understands that he has pretty good connections with several people there. And he understands that he has to make a decision. He has to think carefully about his decision. To me, that answer was not good enough. I was just looking at Chaz like, you are in the hot seat, baby. So Patrice yells out, and it's giving thirst, Patrice. I'm just trying to be in that number. Girl. All right, so it's time for the ladies to get together because it's time to make some decisions. I thought it was interesting that Rashina tells everybody that they had a moment with the strawberry and their lips kind of met. That didn't look like no kind of meeting to me. That looked like a full-on, sucking situation and then some neck kissing. But I don't know, Rashina, maybe I saw it wrong. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Patrice lets us know that she's back in the situation. She got a good morning text from Chaz. So obviously the communication is being cleared up. I said, you think that from a good morning text? Patrice is playing games. And it finally came into vision for me, came into full fruition when I realized that the men that she likes ended up in the bottom. I was like, oh, maybe she saw this coming and she knew she needed to solidify another connection somewhere just in case so she wouldn't be eliminated. I don't really like when people play that game on Ready to Love because, you're supposed to be taking it seriously, but whatever. So Patrice is talking about this good morning text, and child, everybody getting a good morning text. Chaz texting everybody. And that's when nephew Tyler Perry was like, oh, he texting everybody. Y'all need to ask him about that. Vanessa feels like I've talked to him. I've done everything I can do when it comes to Chaz. At this point, it's on him. And I agree with Vanessa. I don't need to prove myself to him anymore. If he want me, he gonna come after me. He gonna clear all of this up. But child, Patrice knew good and full well that good morning text didn't mean nothing. She just trying to throw everybody off. So then they start discussing people they're not connected with. And William does come up, LaRon, as well as Alonzo. Alonzo only has one connection really with Patrice. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was the one to go home. LaRon also only has one connection with Maya. And that connection is new. And nobody else really cares for LaRon like that. And then there's William, who, like I just said, may have more things going on than the ladies can emotionally handle. I just want to say kudos to Vanessa. She gave one of the best explanations to the guys about what their issues were and what they discussed prior to the eliminations. Like, it sounded like somebody giving you a performance evaluation very kindly. And I feel like they were taking it well. LaRon said he expected it. He wants his crawfish to go. I ain't mad at you, LaRon. I'm not a crawfish girl. But if it was like some boiled shrimp or, some other kind of seafood boil, baby, let me get a plate. Alonzo knows that he put it all out there. And I'm proud of Alonzo for that because he does come off jokey. So the fact that he can put himself out there, say what he wants, say Patrice is his one, and be willing to walk away, I like that. Then you have William, who says, if the women can't handle what I have going on, if they don't have the emotional capacity for it, then they're not the woman for me. Didn't I just tell y'all that doesn't go well? And I want to say, I'm not one of those women that think men shouldn't be vulnerable. I do think men should be vulnerable. I just think they should be vulnerable with their woman and their support system. I work with a lot of men. Being in the military, you would be surprised how many men come in my space. I'm just at work and begin to dump their problems on me. From their wife to their children. I didn't ask for that. I'm here working. And I'm sorry you're going through a hard time, but I'm here as an employee. I'm not here to be your therapist. And I think a lot of times when men see a woman or when they see a woman that feels warm or maybe she's kind or polite, they take that opportunity to try to receive some type of nurturing from her. They never stop to think as to whether or not she wants that or she wants to feel that. So I think you should be vulnerable, but I think that you have to pick and choose who you're going to do that with. You can't just do it with any woman, especially a woman that you just started seeing, because that's not what we're looking for when we start dating somebody. On the flip side, y'all know I try to play it fair. I try. When Ashley used to do all that crying on her dates, I was never for it. Y'all can go back and watch season 1, episode, whatever, of Ready to Love when Ashley was on there. I hated that she used to cry on her dates. I hated that she used to emotionally dump on her dates. I didn't even like when she did it to the women. They just met you. You just, I can't describe it, but I just don't think it's okay to do that to people. I really don't. But I do understand that some people have no support system. And so when somebody shows they care, they just can't help themselves. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about them. But I think there's a time and a place, and you have to allow people to have room to support you in that way. So anyway, William says if they can't handle it, they're not the woman for him. Well, it's going to be a lot of women that's not for you. I'll just say that. So then after this, we don't get to see who's going home. Who do y'all think is going home? I personally believe it is going to be Alonzo. He's not bringing in any ratings. So they'll probably keep Lon and William, if for nothing else, just to see another argument pop off. But we'll see. You guys let me know what you thought about the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.